And good morning. Welcome to Avnewscast.com on News Talk 1380.
Today is Wednesday.
Yes.
Snowed a little last night.
Hump day.
Hump day?
It's the girl at 7-Eleven's Friday. I went in and sang
is.
the Friday song this morning.
You did. Well, that's good for you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm happy to welcome an in-studio guest, Mr. Fred Thompson.
Yes.
Fred, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Fred, you're running for a seat on the Palmdale City Council.
That's correct.
And, you know, I hear so many great things about you, but you've been around here, forever.
Oh, it's every time somebody opens their mouth at anything we attend, it's like, oh, we've known Fred for 40 years. He's the greatest guy. And
Tell me if I'm right on any of this, Fred. 20 years with the Palmdale School Board?
That is correct. I was on the Palmdale School Board for 20 years.
Served as a dean at A.B. College?
That is right.
7 years with as a Palmdale Planning Commissioner?
That's correct.
And also served under Pete Knight.
Wow.
Yes, I did. Wonderful man. Great person.
Listen to that. It's like we're announcing a presidential candidate.
yeah.
You know? That's a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody speaks really, really highly of you. Yesterday, we had Carol Stanford on the show, and she said she's known you for years.
Oh, yeah. I think we're somewhere 35
Yeah.
I think
years.
she mentioned that, didn't she?
Yeah.
30 years?
Yeah, we're...
And as Mayor Ledford says, I mean, you've made a lifetime investment in the community of Palmdale, into the Antelope Valley.
Yeah. Oh, I love Palmdale. This is my home, you know. And if you're going to make an investment, you might as well do it in your hometown, and Palmdale's where I live.
Absolutely.
Were you born and raised here?
Almost. I grew up in Los Angeles, and at the age of 16, my mother, who's a single parent, moved to the Antelope Valley. At the time, you know, because of housing discrimination in Palmdale, we were not able to buy a house here. So we bought a house in Little Rock, which what is known now as Sun Village.
Sun Village. Mm-hmm.
And at that time, in 1961, Sun Village at its height had 300 African-American families because they all had to live there. There was no other place to live.
Yeah, Angie's been wondering about that because she's a little
I'm
more
new
recent to the town than
Yeah.
the rest of us are, and she
Right.
never heard about the whole Sun Village story.
That's amazing, that kind
Yeah.
of history here.
Yeah, I think it was around. I was at Palmdale High School at the time. Very small student body, nothing like what it is today. And at that time, I believe, at the time that I was graduating in 1963, housing began to open in Palmdale in certain areas where African Americans could buy, but for the most part, it was still pretty much closed off to African Americans right up through, I think, around 65, 66.
Amazing.
You know, it is. That's hard for me to wrap my head around. It really is. And I was talking the other day, Fred, that I heard ex-LAPD Chief Bernard Parks talking about when he joined the LAPD, and that was in 63, 64. And at that time, they had segregated cars. And I had a really hard time wrapping my head around that. I just can't, I can't
It's
comprehend
amazing
it.
that it's within someone's lifespan.
It is.
Yeah.
But Angelina's smiling at me, okay? But this is, no, because we've talked about Sun Village before.
Right.
And here for the first time, you've got somebody that actually,
Lived
did
it.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Sun Village back during that time. Actually, it was actually 1959 when my grandmother moved first. She moved here, and I stayed with her until we got our own house, and I was amazed at the segregation and the level of racism in Palmdale. It was just phenomenal back then. But look how far we've come, you know, in terms of diversity and human relations. And even during that time, I think I found that there was more good in Palmdale than there was bad. And we had a few people, you know, who were highly prejudiced and they had their own opinions and beliefs, but there were a great many who were not. And I found, you know, that those relationships that I had with people who were not prejudiced and they were open-minded was a lot better. And so, you know, the town has come so far, you know, in such a
Clearly.
Short span of time. A lot of people who come here are new, and I share a few stories to them like that. They're just amazed. They just can't even fathom that Palmdale would have been that way.
No, I can't.
I'm totally blown away. I'm from New York, so and then I was born after what you guys are speaking of completely.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So I've not experienced face to face any level of what you're mentioning.
Yeah,
but it is a testimony to the Palmdale area that it must have been a few, because you wouldn't have been here. You wouldn't still be here.
Right. Well, let us say that it's not an indictment on Palmdale. It was valley wide.
Right.
That includes Lancaster and Palmdale. Where housing was just not available if you were of African American descent.
Yeah, that's hard. Okay, so is this your first time running for a seat on the Palmdale City Council?
No, this is my second time. When I retired from the college in 2007, I ran for the Palmdale City Council. And, of course, I was not successful. But I'm running again, and this time I hope to be successful.
Well, you've got a lot more steam in your engine, I think, this time.
Yes, I do.
I
do.
And, it's wonderful when you've got the mayor and other city council members, that are coming out to support you, which is a wonderful thing. So let's fast forward, okay? Let's play it out, and you become elected, which would be a wonderful thing. And you certainly have... When? Okay? What's really, what do you want to change? What do you want to accomplish?
Well, my strength is in public relations and building relationships with people, and it always has been that way. Even when I was dean at the college, I was always, my success came primarily from being a people-oriented person. So I intend to continue that, by building relationships in the community, addressing problems, and just, kind of being the face, if you will, of the city council, a go-to person.
One thing I've noticed about Palmdale, we've had a lot of people from all over in the government in here talking with us, and one thing that they've always emphasized is education. That seems like a huge priority for Palmdale, and what an asset it would be with your wealth of experience to be up on that city council with the priorities where they are. It's going to be great.
I agree. Education is really important. And when it comes to enlightenment and human relations, and I've always said, people say, well, how do we get rid of all this racism and prejudice and stuff that we have in our society? I said, education. That's the key. When a person becomes enlightened, the lights come on, they expand their thinking, and they begin to understand. Fear comes about when you're dealing with the unknown. So, and as you pointed out earlier, I would not have stayed here if I didn't think this was a great place. And it is. I thought, wow, Palmdale's a wonderful place.
You don't get a lot of
just like
racists
the
in
logo
Mensa.
says, it's a nice place to call home.
Yep.
You don't what, Jeff?
You don't get a lot of racists in Mensa.
No, in Mensa.
No. It's not the brightest people in the world that are espousing those views.
Having a background in forging relationships, public relations, is a great thing. Now, what do you think about making a stab to try to forge a relationship with this city to the north? Am I putting you on the spot there?
No, not at all. I have a lot of friends in the city to the north. In fact, I know the mayor quite well. We've been friends for years and years and years. There's not too many people in the valley that I don't know. And I think, I think it's great. I have friends in Lancaster. Worked in Lancaster for 37 years, so I forged a lot of good friendships. And I think what I would do is just continue those relationships and even build on them. I think that's really important.
It's time for the schism to end.
Sure.
It's childish stupidity.
It's old news.
Yeah.
But it's a serious reality.
It is.
It is a real serious reality. We need to take a break so we can pay for this show. But when we come back, Fred, I want to talk to you about and get your thoughts on districting in the city of Palmdale and that. So just stand by. You're listening to Avnewscast on News Talk Radio 1380, and we'll be right back.
Air in Bakersfield. I'm pleased to announce the opening of our new satellite office in the Antelope Valley. This expansion in the Antelope Valley has been in the works for nearly 4 years. Not only will Bland Solar provide the finest in solar products to the Antelope Valley residents, but we will be looking to train and hire locally as well. The move to solar energy has now become more affordable than ever. Right now, Bland Solar has a program where whether you lease or buy, there is zero down payment. That's right, zero out of pocket. The new program is not only affordable but easy too. No appraisals and guaranteed performance. Your new solar system can be up and running in as little as 4 weeks. Ask us about getting a federal tax credit and a state rebate as well. On behalf of my entire team, Bland Solar looks forward to serving the residents of the Antelope Valley. Feel free to call us at 661-836-3880. That's 661-836-3880. Bland Solar and Air, the Valley's expert in solar.
For further information on Zero Down Lease or Buy program, ask your Bland sales representative.
Here's Johnny. Johnny who? Johnny's Italian-American Bar at the Palmdale Carinos. They've got 200 beers and happy hour specials all day, every day. Enjoy 200 $2 beers on Wednesday, 25-cent wings on Thursdays, and half-price pizzas every day. Plus huge flat-screen TVs. So what are you waiting for? Grab your friends, catch a game or two, and simply relax and enjoy life at Johnny's Italian-American Bar at the Palmdale Carinos, located at the Antelope Valley Mall.
Join us at Carinos for our new $10 Italian-style baby back rib dinner. These baby backs are slowly roasted until tender, basted over the grill with our homemade balsamic barbecue sauce with a Parmesan crust. So come on down and enjoy Carinos' new $10 Italian-style baby back rib dinner, served with our crispy Parmesan seasoned fries. This $10 Italian-style baby back rib dinner will surely please your appetite. Available all day, every day for a limited time only, so hurry in. Carinos Italian, located in Palmdale at the Antelope Valley Mall.
From the concert hall, now into the song and dance.
Welcome back to Avnewscast.com on News Talk 1380.
Is that a different music intro than from yesterday?
No.
That's the same one?
Yeah, that's the same one.
Right.
Oh, on Wednesdays, I guess I don't like it.
Oh.
I liked it yesterday.
Oh, I love that.
You do?
I do
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
You just didn't like watching me dance.
No,
That's probably what threw you off.
I have an issue. Fred, as you know, there's litigation going on with the city of Palmdale, talking about districting. And yesterday I made a comment that I really thought it was kind of up to the voters, up to the community, the residents, to decide what they want. But what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are I don't believe, I know that we do not need districting in Palmdale. We're just not big enough for that. And I don't see any enclaves in the city of Palmdale, that would come together to elect a councilman. And I don't think that's a good idea anyway. The population is small, and I think we're okay the way we are.
Okay, I tend to agree. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, if a decision had to be made, I don't think litigation is the way to do it.
No.
I think it would be a decision that would be borne by the community, the residents.
Yeah, if there's an issue, put it up on the ballot again,
Yeah.
and then see what let the people decide.
Well, as Fred said, there have been a lot of changes in the Antelope Valley over the years. And this is a testament. Richard Loa, okay. He was on the Palmdale City Council, I think, in 2001 for 4 years, okay. Fred's running now. If people are saying, that minorities haven't been able to secure a seat, which, again, Richard Loa is, there's your argument right there. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, anybody can do and run for anything they want to.
We talked about this. If you want it and if you want the seat, go after the seat. So I don't think that there's anybody blocking them. That's not the issue.
Yeah, they don't roll up in black vans and kick your door in if you're trying to.
There's not an interest for whatever reason. At this point, the interest is not there, so it's not going to reflect. It's not going to be reflected.
Right, and I do agree that Palmdale, Lancaster as well, but they're small. Okay, we're not talking about a populace of 1 million people. Mm-hmm. It is small, and districting. I think you'd get a lesser quality. Okay, of council members. I actually think so.
Well, you may not. You may not get a lesser quality. Why would you get a lesser quality of people?
Well, okay. For instance, there have been talk about on Facebook, for instance, and even in some of the local papers that somebody say they were in a district and And they really didn't even know what a city council person does and what the job entails, but yet they want to run. So, so there should be a course.
Yeah.
Okay, that would teach people what. Well, you know what? If you need to take a course to find out what the position entails that you want to run for, you shouldn't be running for that position.
Yeah, well, we talked about this too. And, sometimes people need to take a class to understand exactly what's expected of them. There's nothing wrong with that. They should pay for it. If you're interested in a post, this is where you can go to get the information, the class. After you take it, then you figure out whether or not you want to run for that position.
So your alarm clock goes off in the morning, you wake up and you go, hey, I think I'm going to run for public office. I have no idea what the job entails, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
I think most of the people that are contemplating that have been thinking about it for a while.
And I'll tell you something. Since I've been doing this, I've been more community-based. I've been more interested in serving my community than I've ever in my life. But I have no idea what that entails. So at some point when I say, you know what, I want to extend myself, then it would be beneficial for me because I didn't grow up in a family of members that served their communities. This would be completely new to me.
Okay.
So it would benefit people that feel inclined.
Is this an early warning?
It may be.
Oh,
really?
She's flying a flag.
Here you go.
A test balloon.
It may be. You know me.
There you go. Okay. You're going to have to pack up and move, though, a little bit.
Yeah.
If you want to run for something in the city of Palmdale.
I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can move in with me.
I can't do anything without
They
the
got
classes.
the room out back.
Yeah.
When the classes come up, then.
But
I got to know what it takes.
Yeah. But Fred, don't you think that if somebody's going to run for public office, they should have a background and an understanding of what's required rather than throwing their hat in a ring and then saying, now where's the class that's going to teach me what to do?
Yes, I just could not imagine myself running for a city council without having the background that I have now. 20 years on the Palmdale School District Board, and I learned about the Brown Act. I learned about laws governing the distribution of money in the legislature, and also being on the Planning Commission, learning about how buildings come up in the city of Palmdale and what the approval process is, and all of the laws and things that we have to go through, environmental laws and air quality laws. I mean, it's just a ton of information, that I've learned, and things that I've learned about how to get things done and how you work with people and what you do and where you go. I can't imagine getting up in the morning and not a shred of knowledge or experience and running for a higher office. If it seemed that, it shouldn't be on-the-job training where a person is sitting there and gets elected and sits there for 8 years before they learn out what they're supposed to do, before they finally, this is why I've got elected. And just think of all the time that's been wasted, taxpayers' time, and the city suffers, I think, when you don't have someone who brings some knowledge to the forefront of their job.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%.
Well, the problem wouldn't come up unless they were elected.
Well, no.
It's a shame on the people that put him in. It was me. I woke up one day. I want to go for it. I got the position.
Unfortunately, that happens.
Yeah, but that's scary. I mean, you're your neighborhood watch block captain, and your wife tells you, you're very popular on this block. You should run.
Yeah.
Okay, and in that little district, and son of a gun, he gets elected. Okay, and shows up and says, okay, I'm here now. What do I do? Mm-hmm. That's not good.
No.
That's not good. And clearly residents, but also business owners. Part of being a city council person is you've got to help the city be business friendly and help cut through some of the red tape to make businesses thrive and continue to grow.
And we've seen Palmdale do that for you, too.
Sure. Palmdale, Vincent Dino, Angelina and I had a situation at work at Abadak Outdoors, and we had a situation where if we couldn't get some changes, you would have seen a multi-million-dollar company, one of the largest small businesses in the city of Palmdale, leave, and there would have been dozens of people out of work. And Vincent Dino, actually, planning commissioner, raised some issues and paved the way, and we were able to get things done.
Work it out.
And that's what's important, okay? But the nice thing is everybody is very approachable.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and we've talked about this on the show before, Fred, that, it could be, whether it's Senator Steve Knight, whether it's Assemblyman Steve Fox, it doesn't make a difference which city and which mayor or which council person. You can see them on the street, in shopping, in the mall, anywhere, and everybody's very approachable should you have an issue.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about Palmdale, and I love about a small town.
Yeah.
Is that everyone is accessible and close. And you heard me mention that in my campaign speech about being accessible, because that is the trend of our elected officials, and that's the way it should be. You know, it shouldn't be hidden away and be in some obscure place, but be accessible.
Right.
And be a problem solver.
Right, absolutely. And Angelina, this is kind of new for you a little bit in that, Angelina, that you've even said that you have, everyone is so approachable. You can be walking down the street and say hi, and down in, let's say the San Fernando Valley, for instance, okay? To reach out and grab Councilman Dennis Zine is next to impossible. I mean, it just doesn't happen. Okay? Where up here you can. And if you've got an issue, you can get out there and deal with it.
It is amazing.
Right, and you can come to the city council meeting and you can speak, and be listened to. And that's accessibility. I mean, you're limited to 3 minutes, but you can still get your issue out. And it's an open forum. It's people can come and express their views.
Hey, do you think sometimes at some of these city council meetings that there's a lack of public interest in that there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on, but when it comes to suiting up and going to the council meeting and expressing your view, a lot of the citizens don't want to make the effort?
We'd love to sit home with our
Facebook.
American Idol and Facebook and fuss and not get out there and try to actually do anything.
Well, unfortunately, that is true, and we saw the tragedy of that in the city of Bale, where people who were so apathetic that the city just got away from them, and then all of a sudden they go, "Oh my God, who stole all this money? Let's go to the city council meeting." Now they're packed, and they should have been packed a long time ago. So, but there's so much information. The city council meetings are telecast. The information is available in the city library. There's no excuse for not being informed about what is going on in your city. There's so much information, and very little effort is required to get that information.
Right. Yeah. Right. And since you mentioned the library's got extended hours. They're open 7 days a week now.
Yes, really? And that's wonderful. That is so wonderful, because that goes to the heart of my pet peeve, and that is education.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's heartwarming to see the students there getting their homework, availing themselves of the resources that are available in the library, and I'm so happy that they're open 7 days a week.
Yeah, which is a neat thing. And I don't think Lancaster's is open 7 days a week.
I don't believe it is.
No, because Boy Scouts sometimes rents a room there. My son does. But Palmdale's open 7 days a week. Extended hours, that's a really neat thing.
Yeah.
It is wonderful.
It is.
Yeah, and they've got, they do storytelling over there, for kids. And now they've branched that out, and now they've got 2 different sessions, and they do it bilingually.
Wow. Oh, that's wonderful.
Which is neat.
Yeah, that's outstanding to bring that cultural experience in there. That's really important.
Well, because a lot of the kids, like Carol said yesterday, kids come to school and they're in kindergarten, for instance, or first grade, and they don't speak English. And they're being taught English. English, that's what they learn. So they don't speak English, so now the city of Palmdale has gotten behind it.
It's nice,
and
though.
They're backing them.
Another thing that she was saying, though, is by 3rd grade, they're having them, they start out in kindergarten not speaking a word of English, and they're having them at the state levels by 3rd grade on their testing and everything. That's
which I should go back to the 3rd grade, because I was very proficient in Spanish, and now forget it. I have 10 words. Fred, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show. Okay, we wish you the best of luck in your campaign.
Absolutely.
Anything that we can do to help,
And we want to have
don't
you back when
hesitate.
you win.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure being here this morning.
Thank you, and you're welcome back anytime.
Okay.
All right, you're listening to AV Newscast on News Talk Radio 1380, the Antelope Valley's #1 news talk radio program, and we will be back in 2 minutes.
AVNewscast.com comes to News Talk 1380 every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning from 8 to 9. Discover what's news in the Antelope Valley.
This isn't your grandpa's talk radio.
No, it's not. We're going to be live, edgy, and we're not going to pull any punches. Hi, this is Jeff Sheldon from AVNewscast.com. Join me and my co-host Steve Benson live on News Talk 1380 AM every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning from 8 to 9. We're taking all the technology from AVNewscast.com and bringing it to News Talk Radio 1380. You can catch us on the radio and watch our live video stream on your computer or smartphone. So call in and let's talk about what's affecting you in the Antelope Valley.
There's a school in Palmdale that's become the talk of the town. It's called the Guidance Charter School, and many parents say it's magical. The Guidance Charter School is WAS certified, scored 783 in academic performance, and has an educational curriculum that exceeds what the state of California recommends. The curriculum is enriched through age-appropriate exposure for information technology, arts, foreign language such as Arabic, and physical education. The Guidance Charter School is now going to have a full CIF sports program with soccer, basketball, track, cheerleading, and more. They're an open enrollment school, publicly funded, and have been in business for 12 years, fully approved by Palmdale School District. The Guidance Charter School has small class sizes such as 20 students in grades K through 3, 25 in 4 through 8, and just 30 students in grades 9 through 12. Call the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale today at 661-272-1701. That's the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale, 661-272-1701. And check out their website at thegcs.org. A better high school choice.
Do you think of golf all the time? Do you imagine you're playing golf all the time? Do you take practice swings in the hallway or in your cubicle? Do you know a golfer? Is he or she as addicted as you are? Then you need to get a grip.
Hi, this is Paul from the Get a Grip Golf Talk Show, and we can help get your fix. Swing fix, that is. We'll be going on the air. It can be heard on Saturdays from 9 to 10 in the morning on 1380 AM. We'll be talking PGA, LPGA, Champions Tour, from tee to green and everything in between, giving you product reviews, what's in the bag, golf tips, lots of call-ins, giveaways, and more. So listen in and get a grip.
Welcome back to AVNewscast.com on News Talk 1380.
You know, just before we go on to something else, you know, I mentioned how accessible everybody is up here. And it's true because, you know, coming up here from the valley, it was, and I knew Dennis Ein personally. He was actually dating my sister-in-law.
Oh.
And even with that personal relationship, okay, I couldn't, you know, get anything out of the guy. No, I mean, to make a personal connection.
Not within 50 feet of him.
No, and no, not at all. I mean, terrible. So it's a really nice thing for all the residents in the Antelope Valley to have that accessibility. I think it's really cool.
Absolutely.
All right. There's a new, almost a new brand of water in downtown LA.
Yes, there is. Flavored water.
Ooh, flavored? It's a terrible story. Okay,
gruesome.
It is what it is.
About Elisa Lamb from Canada who went missing. Last seen at the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA, and she's been gone. And all of a sudden, yesterday. And I don't know what happened. I know they had water pressure problems.
Yeah, people, like the day after she
was
disappeared.
servicing the building.
She was. Yeah, well, so I guess a maintenance guy went to find out what's wrong with the water tanks. And she was inside.
I can imagine him just dry heaving. Because once you see that there's a body in the water supply of the building, come on, it's 2:00 in the morning, you wake up, you go to the bathroom, you're like, I just need to get something to drink, and you put your face under the faucet and you're just drinking that cold water, and you're like, dang, it tastes
you've got this big business meeting, your whole future career hinges on what's going to happen there, and you go in, you get up early before dawn, you're brushing your teeth, and you're like,
yeah. Or you're saying, why is there rust in this water?
Okay. Now, the LA County Health Department went there, and they tested the water.
Yeah.
Well, it's clear now.
No, they tested the water. You know, they had to do tests. I mean, the tank was full with, whatever. They said it was fine.
Yeah,
which amazes me.
What about 11 days ago?
Yeah, it's running through her veins now.
In there,
it's good.
Yeah. Oh, why? It got clear, but it was bad?
Yeah, of course.
Well, it's got to be terrible.
No, it's cleared out.
Are you kidding?
Everything that was in the veins, in the vessels, all of that has cleared out, and now it's just flowing.
We're gonna get graphic. Okay. Yeah, it's a terrible thing of what happened, and obviously, it's got to be an inside job.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because there was
no evidence.
locks
I
to
mean,
the doors going up
clean.
there, and the doors were alarmed. It had to be somebody with access to
Right.
keys and the ability to turn the alarms off.
Yeah.
Right, and so you're thinking that that's an employee that's no longer there. That
John has
left.
relocated. He quit like
It's
3
gone.
weeks ago.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll find out about that. I heard there were some security cameras, and there was a shot that showed her in the elevator arguing with someone that was on the outside. You couldn't see the other person, and that was the last they ever saw of her.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why that tape is still there, because he said, let me see what they have before I leave. I mean, if he worked there, come on, he's not a complete idiot.
Well, okay. Well, so there you go. Adam Lanza, okay,
Yeah.
from Newtown. There's a report, there's evidence that has come out that says that he had a fascination with the guy Breivik from
Columbine?
the
Colorado?
Norwegian mass
yeah,
murderer.
The guy that shot up that.
He actually studied him. He studied what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of articles and a lot of newspaper clippings in his room that he just had a fascination with what that guy carried
That
out.
didn't raise any red flags with Mom?
You think? Maybe
I
it
don't
was
know.
in a book underneath his mattress.
No, he said he had clippings all over. He had a shrine to this guy, from what
Maybe
it
it
sounded
was
like
behind,
Steve was.
it was in the closet and you moved the clothes back and it was on the wall, taped
So,
up.
yeah, so I think it wasn't really the Halo or Black Ops 2 games.
Yeah, that's because you just don't want it to be.
No, well,
He had to hone his skill.
by that?
Yeah.
No, it had nothing to do with honing his skill. He was emulating this guy from Norway.
Yeah.
Is what he did. And that guy, what was it, 70 people? 80 people? Yeah. So that's...
Well, it was on an island, too. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. There's nowhere for him to go.
Well,
That Norwegian guy.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, that's right. Cover your mouth.
No.
Absolutely. Down in Sylmar
Herring.
yesterday.
Herring. They eat fish there, right?
Terrible story out of Sylmar yesterday. And I'm just staying with all this awful stuff.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
This guy was under the influence of drugs. Had an argument with his girlfriend and mother-in-law. So he jumped in the van and proceeded to drive over his mother-in-law several times. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. All right. Then went to get his girlfriend and beat her over the head with a pipe. And then she was on the ground, and he drove back and forth over her, too. Okay? She survived. She actually was able to get up and run away. Someone called the police. Yeah, and then they got this guy. This guy was a whack job.
I don't understand. Just leave. You're not happy? Go on.
Just a nutcase. Just a whack job. Did you know that California is the only state in America, okay, that has an active force that literally that goes out day in and day out, 24 hours a day, to seize guns from people's homes that were legally purchased, but they're no longer legally allowed to have this weapon.
That's great.
Okay.
Is that not good?
Okay, so what they do, okay, it's the California Department of Justice, and what they do is they go to people's homes that are now recently on parole or probation, but there's a lot of other things there as well that I didn't know about. For instance, if someone puts a restraining order against you, okay, once that restraining order is against you, you're not allowed to have a weapon.
Really?
No.
I would hope not. Good
I
Lord.
mean, that makes sense.
Even if
are
you
they
have
made aware of that? When they say, okay, you've got a restraining order against you now, you need to...
It's in the paperwork that they receive, but it may not be mentioned by the judge. Okay? If there's any act, and it doesn't have to be a felony, okay, it could be a minor offense, any act of domestic violence, or any act of battery, you got in a fight on a street corner, you're not allowed to have a weapon anymore.
That makes
That's
sense.
good.
So what they do is...
Forever, or how does that work?
It depends on the type of conviction, okay? But usually, If your conviction is pending, it's a minimum of 5 years. But in a lot of cases, it can be forever. Now, what they do is they roll up to the house, okay, couple of squad cars. Everybody's in black fatigues, bulletproof vests, badges, guns, the whole thing. They go to the front door, and now they don't have a search warrant, but they knock on the front door, and they ask for permission to search the house because you were on whatever. Now, if you're on parole or probation, that's a different thing. But let's say it was domestic violence, okay, and they knock on your door, and they say, we want to check the house because you're not supposed to have any weapons. They have no search warrant. 90% of the time, when they knock on the door, because there's a whole field of deputies out there, the person says, yeah, go ahead. You don't have to let them in your house.
Well, it's going to be...
Here's
they're going to go out to the car and radio the judge and...
No, you can't. There is no search warrant. There is no nothing.
Well, there's
So
your
why would they
probable
come to your
cause
house
then.
like that?
So they go to the... What do you got to hide? You're on parole.
Yeah, but it still doesn't give them a reason to get a search warrant just because they say no.
Correct. It doesn't. Okay? And so I just want to mention this.
Happens,
they're very good at being very convincing, okay, which is great. I happen to have a relative that did this for 6 months. And they're very good at being very convincing to get in the house, to make that. Now, let's say it's domestic violence and you're not supposed to have a weapon, and you let them in your house and they find the weapon. Okay, they take the weapon. Now you're going to prison.
Yeah.
Okay, and you didn't have to let them in the house to begin with.
Well, you shouldn't have the weapon, so I don't care. If you're
agree.
beating on your wife and they find out that you have a gun, I mean, you just saved her life, in my opinion. So
right, and to the tune, and actually, Kamala Harris is behind this whole thing. And they're actually to the tune of about 20,000 weapons a year.
That's a lot.
Wow.
That is a lot, huh?
Yeah.
You think, right? Yeah, it's a lot, but they're being replenished much faster than they get them away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a lot. That's a huge amount. So, South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Blade Runner. He made claims yesterday that he heard some noise.
In the bathroom.
He heard some noise in the bathroom. And he thought there was an intruder. So, because he didn't have his prosthetic legs, okay, he was very afraid. So he grabbed his weapon, to which he owned many, grabbed his weapon, and fired through the door of the bathroom, not knowing who was on the other side. Now, this follows with a tweet that he did back in October, okay, where he actually came home, the washing machine was on, and he was afraid there was an intruder in the house, so he went and got his weapon. Fortunately, he didn't have to shoot the washing machine.
Oh, so maybe he's a
Who
little
breaks
freaky.
into your house to wash their drawers?
Pardon me?
I said, who breaks into your house to wash their drawers?
Well,
he didn't recognize the noise.
He heard noise, and he thought.
I'm glad the guns don't come out when there's noises coming from my bathroom.
So that one tweet from back in October
is going to help him.
Perhaps. Now, here's the thing. He claimed he didn't have his prosthetic legs. But the CSI people with the Brooklyn Police Department in South Africa have proven this morning that the angle of the shots came from a high position. And if he didn't have his legs...
Well, he was on his stump on his bed.
There you go.
Which would make him in a high position.
No,
shimmied up the bedpost.
He testified that he got off the bed and walked about 6 to 8 feet in front of it, and then fired. Okay, but the rounds came from a much taller, 3.5, 4 feet taller position than he claimed.
Well, they're gonna have to.
So, what do you think about that? You think he's telling the truth, or
no? I think he's full of crap. I mean, she was in the bed with him sleeping. Now you wake up in the middle of the night, you hear a noise in the bathroom, you look over, she's not there, and you're going to shoot the bathroom up? Come on, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and wouldn't you immediately, you're going to look over to your spouse or your girlfriend, whoever's there, and say, I heard some noise, I'm going to go check it out, you call 911.
Well, he's not going to. He's got to put his legs on.
Okay. No, he didn't do that, because he testified that he didn't do that. Okay.
I don't need any help.
You don't get out of control. Yeah. Okay, you guys are going Howard. Don't go Howard Stern on me here. Okay. No, he claimed that he didn't do that. So that's his defense. They did find evidence of steroids in his blood.
Mm-hmm. The steroids made him crazy.
Well, yeah, it was roid rage, they're saying. Now, after he shot through the door, he beat the door down with his, what stick was that?
His blade?
No, with his, whatchamacallit? What sport? No,
the cricket.
Stick. The cricket stick.
Cricket paddle.
Yeah. He beat the door down, and then he noticed that it was his girlfriend.
Oh.
And he picked her up and carried her downstairs, and he claims, that it was absolutely terrible and that she died in his arms. Okay? That's what you guys are not buying that.
No.
Not for a second.
No,
not for a little bitty second.
I'm not buying it either. Me either. And the very fact that, when he didn't win the Olympic gold and then he protested that somebody was cheating and now they find out that he's been on steroids, I've got issues with the whole thing.
Yep. Yeah, he has no credibility.
No, I don't think so either. We have to take another break.
Oh.
Okay, because that's what we got to do to pay for the show. So we're going to take another break. You're listening to AV Newscast on News Talk Radio 1380, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
It started out like a totally normal day.
I love you.
I mean, I guess I was a little sweaty, and I was definitely sore. I thought I had gas. Turns out, I was having a heart attack. Heart disease is the #1 killer of American women. So now I take care of myself and tell the other women in my life to do the same. Make it your mission to save your life and the lives of the women you love. Find out more from the American Heart Association at goredforwomen.org.
There's a school in Palmdale that's become the talk of the town. It's called the Guidance Charter School, and many parents say it's magical. The Guidance Charter School is WASC certified, scored 783 in academic performance, and has an educational curriculum that exceeds what the state of California recommends. The curriculum is enriched through age-appropriate exposure for information technology, arts, foreign language such as Arabic, and physical education. The Guidance Charter School is now going to have a full CIF sports program with soccer, basketball, track, cheerleading, and more. They're an open enrollment school, publicly funded, and have been in business for 12 years. Fully approved by Palmdale School District. The Guidance Charter School has small class sizes such as 20 students in grades K through 3, 25 in 4 through 8, and just 30 students in grades 9 through 12. Call the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale today at 661-272-1701. That's the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale, 661-272-1701. And check out their website at thegcs.org. A better high school choice.
We're here today to ask people about marriage.
For starters, what's the best thing about being married?
Who I get to stay married to.
Togetherness.
Having a companion.
Do you think your marriage is good for more than just the two of you?
Oh, sure, and it'll affect generations after us.
The energy we give out in our home, I think, spreads out to other people.
Sort of stabilizes your whole community. It's the cornerstone of a society, right?
Want to improve your marriage? For ideas, go to foryourmarriage.org. A message from the Catholic Church.
Beats. And welcome back to avnewscast.com on News Talk 1380.
Maybe this is the one I have problems with.
This one?
Yeah.
We got a problem with both of them then.
I'm just losing it.
Yeah.
I'm just losing it. So, question, you guys. If you're running for public office or you're an elected official, does that mean that you necessarily have a responsibility or you're obligated to get on Facebook and chat up with your constituents on a regular basis?
Oh,
no.
I was watching that discussion yesterday on Facebook.
I don't think you have an obligation.
And the fact that you don't engage that way, does that mean that you're doing something wrong?
No, not at all.
I don't know that it means you're doing something wrong, but
they could be
criminal
busy
thing,
working for us.
But I do like when politicians get on there, though, and interact with the people they supposedly represent.
Yeah.
I do too, and from both cities, both mayors, for instance, get on there. Mm-hmm. However, you put a target on yourself to attract some, I'm going to just say nutcases, okay, mm-hmm. that are unhappy with everything on the planet, their whole life, everything, and all they want to do is attack.
Yes.
Okay?
And it's even easier for them to hit Facebook than it is to go to the city council meeting. So.
Exactly.
But then, you get the real diehards, though, at the city council meeting.
Yeah.
You get the really, they've really got an axe to grind people. But, yeah, you do hit more folks, so you're going to hit more disgruntled, wonky folks out there with the Facebook.
Yeah, and, I don't know. I would find it, difficult. I mean, you want to post, you want to interact, but at the same time, people are just sitting back, both barrels loaded.
Seething.
The minute they see you on there, they're going to start to attack. They're going to attack about something that happened 25 years ago that they're mad about.
Yeah,
okay?
totally.
That the whole team of psychologists never cured for them, and so they're going to go out and nail you.
Yep.
Yeah. But like the post was talking about yesterday on Facebook, you can block the nut jobs. I don't think you should. I still value
need to block them.
I still value the interaction with the community more. I think it's an obligation because you're communicating with the people. You're hearing back from the people. You're not in an ivory tower someplace. You're actually hearing the needs of most. And everybody that writes in a string on Facebook, they're not nuts.
Right.
So I think the good outweighs the bad on that.
Well, my opinion would be, if you're going to open that up, then it needs to be something that's opened up by the politician, because then you tend to get into, well, why is he commenting on that person's Facebook as opposed to someone else's? Then they start categorizing you as you're into whatever that person's Facebook and whatever her or his interests are. So if that's the case, then it needs to be something that he posts on his Facebook, and then the community can join in. And
so they should initiate before they...
Yeah, I think so. Because then it's an even playing field. It's not saying, I'm going to constantly go to your page.
Okay. I have even a better solution.
Oh, go ahead,
okay.
Steve.
Show us up. Okay.
Yeah, well, he's thought about it.
I have thought about it. Okay. And I have a great solution. Okay. Since Avnewscast is the possessor of all technology,
yes.
what we'll do is we'll reach out to both cities, okay, and elected officials, and let's allow them to come in studio, okay, and reach out to the communities about issues that they want to discuss and people within the community want to discuss.
Right.
It can be interactive. It'll be a live stream that people can actually watch. They can jump in a chat room. They can present questions. They can do what they want to do. And let's do this on a regular, it could be a monthly basis.
That sounds really good. You could have shared that with us before.
I think
so. It could have been something that we all thought about, like we came together to do, but now it's Steve's idea.
It's the Steve show.
No.
Oh, sorry.
You guys are terrible.
He's getting exasperated with it.
Okay.
Is he really?
It's all for one and one for all.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Three Musketeers.
No bad ideas, Angie.
No. So that would allow everybody, because all the residents, they could watch it on their phone. They can watch it on their computer. So it'll be portable with them wherever they go. All right. And we'll have a live chat room.
Right.
So, if you're listening, and we can also invite, up to X amount of people to participate, okay, through a video stream. And they can present questions and comments.
Yes.
Yeah, and go back and forth, okay, about issues that are near and dear to them. Everybody's going to have different issues and different things. And that's what we could do. I mean, I saw a post today on Facebook, and somebody said, we need to talk to our local mayors about the price of gasoline. Well, really? I mean, are you serious? Like, they have some control over it, okay? But this person was very, very angry.
That's because they haven't thought about running for mayor, and they didn't take the class to see what it entailed.
Yeah, see, they don't. Even if you're not running for office, take the class, and then you know what these people are capable of doing and what they're capable of solving.
But
that's a really good point.
There's not a class.
Well, there should be.
Yeah.
Because then she wouldn't be pissed off at the mayor for the price of gas.
It was a he, actually.
She.
Okay,
Shim.
now. Okay.
I'm saying the person.
No, and it's beautiful because we are uniquely set up to do this
that
kind of thing.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think when you're face to face with somebody like that, you're less likely to be disrespectful as well, because you're looking them in the eye. You're not just typing in words on a page.
Because you're all bully bad when you're at home.
Yeah, all tucked away.
Yeah.
Well, I think this would be a great thing. Okay?
I absolutely agree.
And we'll do it at no charge to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We've only got a couple minutes left in the show, but we've got a caller, so
Yes.
let's just grab it real quick. All right. Hi, you're on News Talk Radio. You're live.
Hey, yeah, my name's Dan. Hey, listen, I'm one of those people that go to the city council meetings up here in Lancaster, and I go, every, 2 weeks when they have them, and I'm not one of the angry people. Yeah, there are those people there.
Not one of the foil hat folks?
Well, I went because I started going because I was one of those people that were angry about a lot of things that happened with the old, group of people that used to be here running Lancaster where nothing ever got done. And, now things are finally getting taken care of. But I got in because my daughter was in high school and she's looking to go into law. And I wanted her to see, what's going on here. So she got involved with students in government, and I continue to go. And when she's home, during the summer or whatever, she still goes to the meetings with me. She's down at UCLA now as in her third year. So there's not all of us that go to the city council meetings are angry people. We actually want to see what's going on, and we do have input, and I think that's the best way for people to do it. Is
how much better would our community be if there were more people like you that actually took an interest and went out there and just not with some kind of rant, but actually wanted to know what was going on?
Yeah, well, that would probably be a good idea because there are a lot of angry. I was one of those angry people for a long time. I just thought, why are they doing things like this? I was a student body president at my community college down in Santa Clarita. So yeah, I have a background in that. I dealt with a $3.5 million budget. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to serve on one of these posts, and I think actually going out into the community and breaking this up into districts is a much better idea for both cities.
Really?
Because, I do, because you get a better representation of the districts. You have more input from the people. Trust me, I think we have an excellent council right now in Lancaster, but you know what? Like anything else, I mean, you turn on CNN and you watch the Senate hearings and stuff like that, and you see these old guys that are sitting there falling asleep that have been there for 40, 50 years. They're not doing any good for the country. They're not doing any good for the country.
Do you think
we need to get rid of all of them, whether they be Republicans, Democrats, Independents, whatever, and start all over? And it needs to be more common people in there the way that it originally started, the way it was supposed to be,
On a local level, though, do you really think that there's our community A is large enough and B is clumped into enclaves enough to where, because I look at my street in Lancaster and there's people from everywhere.
Well, it depends on how they break it up.
That's a hot button topic, Dan, districting, and that's something. You know what? Maybe Friday we could devote a whole show to that. I'd love to talk to you on the air at length about that.
Okay.
If you're available on Friday.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
that'd be great. And that's what we should devote the show to, because it is a hot button topic.
Right.
And I've only got 30 seconds left in the show anyway.
Don't hang up so we can get your information once we go off there.
Okay.
All right, Dan, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate the fact that you called in, and we didn't even give out the phone number.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay? So that I greatly appreciate. Have a great day.
This is not the first time I called and talked to you guys.
Well, no, I greatly appreciate it. And if I made it sound like, everybody that goes to these city council meetings are very angry, I didn't mean it to come off that way. So I appreciate the correction.
No,
I really do.
It's just that, I want people to know that there are those of us out there that are very concerned, that we don't have one topic that we're just, we're concerned about the way the whole city's being run. And it's now, I think we're doing a pretty good job.
All right, stand by, Dan. We'll be right back. All right, this is the end of our show. We'll be back on Friday. You're listening to AV Newscast on News Talk Radio 1380.